So, Wes, the whiskey market is shifting.
Uh-oh.
And it's caused some changes in whiskey-related behavior for myself and others. And if you want to hear what whiskey mistakes I avoided in 2024, then stick around.
Yep. So before we get into that goodness that you just alluded to, we've got to take a minute and thank our patrons, right?
For sure.
I mean, we can't start an episode without thanking the people who make the episode possible.
That's right.
We wouldn't be here doing what we do without our faithful support from our patrons. And if you want to learn more about the reason these names are on the screen in front of you right now and how they get to partner with us to do some great things online, then stick around to the end of the video and we will share some more information about how you can get involved in making a difference.
Absolutely. Now, let's talk about mistakes. So first off, the reason why I decided to write this episode is one of the most popular episodes is this is the biggest whiskey mistake I made in the year, right?
Right.
And so I thought, oh, that's a popular topic. I should write that episode.
Yep.
And then I got up and I stood and I looked at my whiskey wall and I couldn't find a single bottle that I bought in 2024 that I regretted purchasing.
Right, yeah.
Not one.
There's not a whole lot of them out there.
And I was like, you know what? That's significant in and of itself.
That's a good year.
And I should write an episode about how I avoided
Right.
the mistakes that I made.
Yeah.
So that's how we kind of came about this. So the first thing that I avoided
is a mistake most people make.
Most people make.
Right.
And I'm sure you've made this mistake.
I have. I absolutely have.
And I avoided expensive Tater Target bottles.
Right.
Now, what do I mean by a Tater Target bottle? If you had to guess one of my Tater Target bottles, what would it be? It's been used multiple times.
Well, Blanton's is a tater target.
Well,
sure.
right, but every Blanton's that I find at retail, I buy it because
exactly.
I'm going to make somebody elated.
GTS's, the B tags.
I'm going to buy all those at retail,
Okay.
all of that stuff. But a Tater Target bottle would be like the 16-year that you bought me.
Oh,
from
yes.
Dickel.
Yes, the
right?
Dickel, yes.
And so what happens every year is some of the...
You always got to bring that up and throw it back in my face.
Well, you were on, so I thought it'd be a fun thing. The whiskey's great.
That's one of my biggest mistakes I've ever made.
No,
sure.
it's not. It wasn't a mistake. We've gotten a lot of great content out of it, and people like drinking it. But what you have to understand is that the whiskey production industry understands that everybody who wants to go buy a bottle of Pappy Van Winkle for their loved one that loves whiskey isn't going to be able to do so.
Right.
And so how do you capitalize on that inexperienced whiskey buyer who only knows that they're buying a present for someone that they love?
Yep.
How do you capitalize on them walking into the store and going, hey, what do you got that's really special?
Well, you should ask Specs that question.
Right.
Because they've capitalized on that.
Yeah.
You go in there, you ask those guys what they should get your whiskey lover.
They're
gonna take you right to some things.
Yeah.
That they're gonna get a little bonus off of. But yeah, you're gonna find those bottles that they're gonna throw a high number on, like a 16-year or this, and they make it look real old school and popular, and they're gonna sell you on it.
And then it's going to be, $350.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
And
the more expensive the bottle, the better it is.
The better
right?
it is, especially for the inexperienced buyer. And somehow in 2024, I bought 0 of those.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Congratulations to you. Now, what's another one? Because this is probably, if the Tater sticker doesn't get them, this one definitely gets people in their mistakes, and that's overpaying for a bottle.
I did not overpay for a single bottle this year.
Really?
Yeah. Now, I will, as a caveat, if you stick around to the end, I'm also a residential real estate agent. I do give away bottles as closing gifts. Those bottles I have a budget for, and I will pay above secondary prices because they're client gifts.
Right, yeah.
However, for my personal collection, I didn't pay anything but retail price for any bottle that I purchased in 2024.
So you didn't shop at Liquor Depot?
Yeah. I mean, I don't like to cuss on camera, but F Liquor Depot.
Yeah, those guys, you can't go in there and buy a bottle for retail price.
You can't, no.
But yeah, some of those mom and pops, and you'll see the bottles you want, but man, the price tag on them, they know they're going to get somebody to buy it.
Yeah.
And so it's hard not to go in and be like, you know what, I just really want this bottle, and just overpay for it, you know?
So speaking of Liquor Depot, the next mistake that I avoided was I didn't spend a single penny at a price gouge store.
Yes.
In 2024.
Which is how you bought bottles at retail prices.
Right. Not a single penny.
That's great.
And so, because a lot of times you'll go into these price gouge stores and they're like, oh, we have a George T. Stagg and it's $1,800. And you're like,
screw you.
You're an idiot.
Yeah.
I could have it purchased and shipped to my house for far less money. And they're like, well, then don't buy it. But then you go over to the store shelf and you're like, oh, their price for Old Grandad 114 is normal and I need a bottle, so I'm just going to pick one up.
Yeah.
No. You do not reward that behavior.
Right.
Absolutely not.
Nope.
Do not give those people any of your money at all.
Yep.
And I avoided that entirely in 2024.
Now, one thing I will say, though, a lot of people will go to these stores and be like, you know what, I'm just going to buy things and hopefully they'll give me, build a relationship. I'll buy all my stuff here and then finally they'll give me one of these prices or one of these bottles at a cheaper price. That doesn't work. Not at those stores.
Well, sometimes they will, but look.
Not Liquor Depot.
Not Liquor Depot. However, I have heard of individuals that watch the podcast and they're like, bro, you're telling me not to shop at price gouge stores, but where I live,
that's all I got.
That's all I got.
Yeah, I got it.
You're literally telling me to only buy online, right?
Yeah.
And then a lot of the online retailers are price gougers, right? So what do? If you have no choice or there's no liquor stores near you and, you can build that relationship. We have a video about it.
Yeah, we do.
About how to build relationships with price gouge stores, how to manage it, all of that stuff. But generally speaking, if you have other options, just don't shop there. Shop someplace that has a point system. Shop someplace that has some system to reward their regular customers and spend all your money there.
Like Liquor King.
Ding. There are many other stores that do it that way, and we want to show support.
The point system's a great way. I don't know why everybody doesn't do it that way. I mean, you reward loyalty, and that's what it's all about, right? And it's easy for them. So, anyways, side trail. Let's get back on mistakes.
You know what's funny is I said something about there's a local liquor store named Apollo Liquor, and they do annual release.
Yep.
And based on the amount of money that you spend on their first come first serve, you get raffle tickets.
Yep.
And then they
that's a great way.
They split up their allocated items first come first serve. So even if you're not local, you've got an incentive to drive up there and show them some love, and you're going to get something. Everybody in line got to allocate a bottle. And then after that money goes towards raffle tickets for the other part of their allocated items. And we draw tickets, and whoever wins gets to buy that bottle at MSRP. And somebody from another state where they do raffles because it's a state-owned liquor stores was like, I hate raffles. Raffles are evil. And I'm like, no. This is different.
This is
right?
different.
Like you're talking about a situation where somebody from another state can drive in. They've never shopped there before. They'll never shop there again. And they're taking your bottle. Right. In this instance, these people did the thing the store wants them to do: spend their money there and showed love to the store, and that's how you win. So, yeah, there are different ways to handle raffles. So, welcome back to Pretentious Whiskey Reviews. Today, we're evaluating the 1982 Pappy Van Winkle. Ooh, I'm detecting a hint of Bolivian virgin tears and West Indian grasses.
Y'all, you don't need all that crap. All you need is an American Whiskey Aroma Kit from bourbonrealtalk.com. Developing your palate is a learned skill. Over time, you can train your taste buds without being a douchebag. Get yours today at bourbonrealtalk.com.
I'm also getting Indian nutmeg. The other mistake that I avoided this year, and this was a big one for me, and partially because I ran out of space, is I stopped overspending on bunker bottles.
So you didn't just build a bunker for your bunker?
Yeah. So in the past, if I got the opportunity to buy a single barrel, I'd be like, I'll take a case, right? I'll buy all 6. And this was the year that I started looking, I'm like, okay, one, I don't have any place to put it. And two, if I stopped buying liquor today, I would die before I drank everything that I already own. Right. And so.
Or you would die trying to drink it all.
Exactly. One of the two would happen. Right. And so I stopped overbuying on bunkers and leaving a little bit more for other people to have that unique whiskey experience. Because most of the time it was single barrels that I would really go nuts on. And so I stopped overbuying on bunkers.
Well, we all thank you for that.
Yeah.
A little more whiskey on the shelf for us.
Yeah, that's right. And then last but not least, the fifth thing was that I stopped overspending on shelfers. Okay? Yeah. And this one's a little bit of a weird one because we all have those the shelfers that are like bangers, right? Yeah. And
your Wild Turkey 101s.
Your Wild Turkey 101s, your Evan William Bottle and Bond, Old Granddad 114, all that stuff. And what I started to realize was I never drink anything but bottom shelf whiskey unless someone's here with me, right? And I started looking at my shelves and I started realizing, well, I have all of these bunkers of all these single barrels, and it's not like people are like lining up at the door to come try them. Yeah. They want to try all the allocated stuff, the Van Winkles and the B-Tax and all that when they come over. And they'll drink some of the single barrels, but these single barrels are never going to get drank unless I start drinking them. And I had to kind of give myself a bit of a pass because I feel guilty whenever I'm drinking something that I know is special on, a Tuesday night. Right? It's Tuesday night, I watch TV with the kids, I want to have a pour. I'd come in here and I'd be like, oh, don't drink that single barrel because that one's special. Just drink something that's easy to replace. And this was the year that I stopped doing that. And I started to allow myself to drink that tier of bottle, understanding, because I finally learned there's going to be a whole year's worth of those bottles that get released next year. And I'll be able to replace those with those bottles. Yeah.
So can I add one to this list?
Absolutely.
I know you came up with this list on your own, but there's one mistake that I avoided, and this is kind of, a different style of point for me. But I took some time off of drinking this year. And I think that was important for me. And I obviously encourage everybody I've talked to do that at some point in your year. Just take some time off because it does a few things for you. One, you come back with a greater appreciation for it. You also, you keep yourself in check, making sure you don't have an issue or any problem. Because if you try to take time off and you can't, that's probably a good indicator that you should take time off. Yeah. And then the third thing is that when you come back, you learn how to socialize with people in public and social settings without that vice to help assist in that connection. You help to build connections with people far past that. And so those are all things valuable to me. So I would say that's one mistake that you could avoid in next year when you're looking at this list and saying, okay, what can I do next year to kind of help set myself up for success? Maybe consider one of the 12 months off. Just say, hey, this month I'm going to take it off and see what that experience is like, because I got a lot from that.
Yeah. So we always give away some whiskey.
I think we should.
Yeah.
I mean, this is no exception.
So
it would be a mistake not to.
It'd be a mistake, yeah. So for me, most of the reason I was able to implement these strategies was because I had access to really awesome single barrels, most of which were through the Facebook whiskey group that I run here in North Texas called Someone Say Whiskey. We are nationwide, but 90% of our membership is here. And so I thought, if we're going to do a giveaway for this, let's give away some of the whiskey that helped me avoid some of these problems.
Yeah, some little club picks and so forth.
Yeah, so first of all, we've got our brand new release of Woodford Double Oaked.
Wow.
And so a few years ago...
A little Tater sticker on the back?
Yeah, a few years ago, Ruth Bader Ginsburg passed away right when we were releasing this bottle. And so we put a little call on it, and we did kind of a shout out to her. Didn't always agree with her politics, but she was certainly influential. So this was the follow-up to this, and this was picked by the women of Someone Say Whiskey.
Oh, wow.
Awesome. So this was the female picked bottle. I did not participate in that pick.
Love it.
And then the next one that we have, because I want to expose you guys, is La Encantada.
Oh my gosh, La Encantada, dude.
So La Encantada, a lot of people don't know this. People think that Scotch is the grandfather of bourbon, and it is not.
It is not. Brandy is.
Yeah. So the Cognac region is actually probably what inspired bourbon to be aged in barrels, because there are these two dudes, you can Google it, they're called the Tarascon brothers, and you can spell it phonetically and you'll get it right. Tarascon brothers. And they came from the Cognac region, moved into Kentucky. They bought an island in the river. They were buying new make whiskey whiskey, putting it in barrels, shipping it down to New Orleans where it was being sold. And that shipping process was causing it to age in those barrels. And then the people down in New Orleans liked the whiskey more than they did when it was clear from Kentucky. And that's probably what started the aging of bourbon in barrels.
Thank you, Tarascon Brothers.
And so I think La Encantada is a closer relative to bourbon than
gosh.
Scotch is. And then this was a single barrel that was picked right here on this table. In fact, I still have some of the samples that we did not select. And this is an Elijah Craig barrel proof single barrel. And last but not least, we are going to have an Old Forester single barrel proof.
Wow.
Never had one of these that wasn't fire.
That is a killer lineup right there.
Yeah.
I can see why you didn't have to run out to the store and buy a bunch of stuff that you've already had.
5 winners.
Now here's the thing, all right? We do a lot of giveaways. In fact, we do one on every episode, okay? But most of the time, the giveaways are bottles that you could go out and source yourself.
Yeah, you're never going to get these.
You're not going to get these unless you're in Someone Say Whiskey, in which you wouldn't enter the giveaway because you already have the bottle.
And they're all sold out except for this one.
Yeah, so these are all bottles that are giving you a one of a kind chance to have this experience. And so here's what you need to do. You need to like the video, subscribe to the channel, then you want to ring the bell for notifications. And that's important because every episode, again, we do a giveaway. So that's what you need to do. Just it's simple as that. The last thing is just fill out the web form. There's a link in the description below. You just basic contact info so we can get in touch with you if you are a winner. We'll use your info with everyone else and we'll run a randomizer and we'll post the results for accountability, and we will send those samples out to you absolutely free.
Awesome. And if you want to support this channel, you should consider checking out our Patreon.
Yeah. Or if you want to buy me one of these bottles, then you can support me in that.
That's personal support.
I got to go find one of these
ASAP
because they're so good.
Yeah, they are so good. So there are a lot of member benefits for the patrons. It's not just a donation. So we do have bonus content, so special offers. We do these curated trips, whiskey trips we call distillery takeovers. We do single barrels just like these, but they're just for the patrons. In-person meetups. We do some virtual bottle shares online. You get discounts on merch. And a lot of other things. We have price points for all budgets, so you can check that out. But tell me about the merch.
The merch is fire.
Yeah, hot fire.
Hot fire. If you are a whiskey enthusiast like myself, but you also feel like you at least have a little bit of style about yourself and you don't want to buy all the whiskey tchotchkes that are out there, so to speak, or you're sick of getting those Christmas gifts that are like, okay, this is lame. I can tell you were trying to get me something whiskey related, but this is not what I'm down with. Go to bourbonrealtalk.com.
Whiskey Stones.
Yeah, Whiskey Stones. Send your loved ones to bourbonrealtalk.com. Say, if you're ever going to buy me any whiskey stuff, make sure you buy it from here because it's all curated by whiskey lovers like us for whiskey lovers like you. And so the merch is cool, the swag is cool, the vibes are cool. Go check out bourbonrealtalk.com for all your goodies.
Yeah. And then last but not least, running a podcast is usually not a profit center. So for at least the 4 years, my real estate business was subsidizing this channel. I'm a residential real estate agent. I practice in the Houston and Dallas metro area. So if you're looking for an agent in either market, I'd love to interview for the job. And if we close a deal, I promise you an epic allocated bottle as your closing gift.
Absolutely.
And if this is your first time tuning into the channel, I'd love to tell you about our show philosophy. We are all about bringing people together around whiskey. If you just wanted to get drunk, you can drink vodka. But whiskey has this extra, I don't know how to describe it. But
connective power.
It's connective power.
Yeah.
And
Something about it.
And that became very interesting to me because I lost a loved one to suicide. And my brother was losing some social connections and started to feel disconnected. And I saw how whiskey was building those types of social connections, even sometimes among people who have different ideological views. They could sit down over a drink and still connect. And I thought that was important. So I thought maybe I could get you connected to whiskey and whiskey do the rest of the job and get you connected to others. But if you're going to have connection, you do have to have a way for people to interact. And a lot of the forums are filled with what we call trolls, and they say hateful things to strangers online. Yeah. And so Wes, in his infinite wisdom, convinced me to start a troll-free forum called Bourbon Real Talk Community. Yeah. It's on Facebook. It's free. You can go join right now. There's lots of great things going on in there besides just whiskey information. So check that out. But those trolls also taught us another lesson, and that is that if they can hate a stranger online, we can love them. And that is why we end every episode the same way, and that's this. If you woke up this morning and you're unsure whether or not anyone loved you, just know that we love you We'll see you next time on Bourbon Real Talk. Cheers.
What are you doing?
Oh, I'm testing my new whiskey glass that I had designed.
Why?
Well, there's a company out there that's a real Cairn, and she threatened to sue us.
Really? You don't say.
Yeah, so we had been producing some traditional tulip-shaped whiskey glasses.
Oh, yes. Uh-huh.
We never used the name.
Right, of course.
But they claimed to own the shape of the glass. Mm-hmm. And since I'm just a little guy, I couldn't fight.
Right.
But do you know what that motivated us to do, Wes?
What?
To go out and design a glass that was actually made for high-proof American spirits. So the company that had the problem with us, their glass was originally designed for low-proof Scotch whiskey.
Oh, okay.
80, 86 proof, that type of thing. Mm-hmm. And you know what I had noticed? Every time I would nose a really high-proof, high-quality spirit in the United States out of this glass, all I got was ethanol burn.
Yeah, a little burn there. I felt that.
And so we went out and we designed this glass that's actually designed for those higher-proof spirits. And I'm so confident in this glass that if anybody were to go to our website and buy one, I'm offering a money-back guarantee.
Wow.
If you get that glass to your house and you find yourself one of these traditional tulip-shaped glasses and you nose a high-proof spirit side by side and you can't tell the difference, I will gladly give you your money back.
So what you're saying is they can really stick it to the Cairn and support the little guy by going to bourbonrealtalk.com and ordering one of these with absolutely no risk. They could get their money back if they don't prefer it, nosing it to the other?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And if you love small business and you like sticking it to Cairns, that's the way to go.
Stick it to Cairn. bourbonrealtalk.com.
Cheers.